Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Doc Hamels and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, I'm not sure that the sun rose yet because when I got over here, it was pretty cloudy and spritzing rain, but according to the weatherman, it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent weekend. And speaking of weekend, if the sun comes out, Chautauqua County is going to be like on fire with color. The leaves are spectacular this year. So, some years they're just like okay, but this year, wow! The woods near our property, in our woods, they're just like oranges and reds and yellows and really something else. So this is the week, and I think next week, and that you should get out there and just enjoy everything that we got here in Chautauqua County. Wow. Well, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We're streaming as far as I know this week. Last week we had a little technical difficulty. I just got the official word, we are streaming around the world. So good morning, Ukraine, good morning, Florida, good morning, Michigan, good morning all across Chautauqua County, wherever you're watching us, good morning. And also, good afternoon to all of my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. Thanks for joining us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. So again, you can listen to us if you're traveling about the county, and especially down in the Jamestown area, you can catch the show, our soundtrack. All right. And remember, if you want to rewatch this show, which you may very well, because this is going to be a real interesting show for special services for senior citizens. And my guest has all kinds of cool props here today, so it should be a lot of fun. Okay, where was I going? So remember, this is a call-in show, and you can give us a call, 753-5225. You can email us later in the week if you have any questions or comments. If you have an announcement or something you want to share, please do that. And where I was going with it before my brain went to another little corner of the world was remember that we are on Spectrum throughout the week at 2 and 8 every day throughout the week, this particular week. So you can catch this show because sometimes people say, well, what did they say? Or what was their phone number? Or whatever. And are happy to share all that with you. Okay, so what else is going on here right now? We got grape picking over in my part of the world, and I always try to do a reminder kind of a thing that when you're traveling, especially in the evening, dusk time, folks are picking grapes 24/7, and you're going to have farm traffic that maybe you're not totally used to, where you've got tractors coming and going, you've got these flatbeds with these big bins, they're hauling grapes to the various processing plants. So just be a little bit mindful of that when you're traveling through our part of the western part of the county in the north. All right, let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, COVID. You know, I was walking through the hallways of the building that we are here in, and I was looking on notice on the floor are X's, and there's still a reminder of how we were supposed to stand 6 feet apart, and all that regimen that we had to go through. Doesn't even seem like it happened. It seemed like a bad dream, didn't it? Well, people are still getting COVID. Kids are still getting COVID. Adults are getting, senior citizens, everybody's still getting it. So please remember that if you didn't get a booster yet, but you're vaccinated, get a booster. Well, someone said to me, well, did you get a booster? I said, I've got my 3rd booster. And then, people said, well, I haven't got the first 2. Well, you're not going to get the first 2 because the first booster was for a year ago. The second booster was like 6 months ago. And this booster now is for now. So you don't go back and get boosters. So you can, but I would recommend, and I know that they're recommending through lots of doctors' offices, get a booster for the upcoming fall and winter, because you're going to be in close quarters. People I've talked to, the pharmacists, are saying COVID boosters are going to be just like your flu shot, just for now. Just think about it. Just think about it.
Hey Doc, do I still write down on your card that you
Yep, they put it on your card. You have your little note there that you've been boosted and so forth. So, and I know for travel, you know, they want to know that stuff. So, anyways, okay. Let's see what else we got here. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay. We want to remind you. Let's see, I got to get the right hand up here. We have our little pink ribbon there to remind you that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that you don't have to wait for October, but please get those mammograms, check it out, and if you have any concerns, you know, go to your local hospital, your doctor, and get it checked out. And we mentioned last week that I know at least one hospital, Westfield Memorial, they have models of the human breast, where inside that material you can feel a lump, and that'll give you an idea, because a lot of times we get panicked about something. It's better to be panicked and get it checked out than sit there panicked and worry about it, okay? So men and women, please, if you have any concerns, don't wait. All right, let's see. A big happy birthday goes out to our engineer, Jeff. Yeah, he's clapping. Jeff, I can hear you in my earpiece clapping. I mean, he's happy over there. Well, I hear Randy in my earpiece. Jeff crosses that big number, and he's excited, so I'm not going to go there. But it's somewhere between 66 and 64. Anyways.
I can hear him laughing.
We have worked together for, gosh, well over 9 years, 10, 11, 12 years now here at the studio, because I was with the other show, the Senior Report, and Jeff was involved with that show as well. And so anyways, Jeff, happy birthday, and just keep on going. He hunts and he rides his bike all over the county, and he takes good care of himself, so good on you. Let's see. Ripley Library, we got some events coming up here, and I just happen to have a printout. So I mean, once again, folks, if you've got things going on in your community, your library, your particular group that's doing a fundraiser, send it to us. So let's see, let's start here. Today's the 8th. So right today at 10 a.m. they're having a rag wreath craft at the Ripley Library. And then on the 14th is going to be sip and paint. They're going to do a voodoo queen for Halloween, I guess. And then on the 15th, they're starting a coat drive. On the 18th, a local author, Elaine Brodigan, and she's written a book, I believe, about her missionary experiences, I believe in, I want to say Africa, but at least missionary adventures with her and her husband in the medical field. And then the 20th, Nutrition with Molly. She comes in and talks about how to fix some really easy meals Then they're having something, I've never heard this before, a jigsaw puzzle challenge. Justin, you're the man. You should go do that. Jigsaw puzzle challenge. My wife does it on her iPad, and I sit there and look at it. Just tiny little pieces. I go, how can you do that? And it's relaxing. And then on the 20th, the movie Hocus Pocus. So lots of things go on in local libraries, but that's the Ripley Library. And that's not to say there aren't at the Westfield and Brockton and Silver Creek and all that. There's like 36 different libraries in the system. Jamestown, Faulkner, Frewsburg, on, down in Asheville. So check out your libraries. It's really, they've all really become community centers of really fun things to do. It's not like, shh, be quiet. Now they encourage people to get together and to read and to talk and so forth. Okay, and let's see here. You know, Justin, I need your help. I don't have my announcements for the week. Jeff has them, and I don't have that copy yet. But I will digress for a second while we're getting it. Boy, we usually have that right here. A friend of mine, I want to do a moment to share my condolences. A great spirit, a great soul has left Chautauqua County, Mike Ricketts. If you didn't know Mike, Mike was involved with the county for many, many years. He was a director of probation, and being in the world of education, sadly, I had to deal with his department. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Mike was also on the show way back in the first, I think it was like our first season, December of 2014. It's hard to believe. And we talked about the Habitat for Humanity. And Mike was also a Mason from the Free and Accepted Masons. That's how I know you too. There we go. All right, there's the connection. And and I'm also a Mason, and so Mike and his dad Joe, I knew both of them very well through Masons. So anyways, if you happen to know the Ricketts family, you might want to make contact and, you know, be supportive of the family. So Mike Ricketts, sorry to see him leave this world. All right, so we have some announcements nonetheless. And we're going to start out with WRFA, our sister brother station over in the radio world. And we're going to just kind of give you a little announcement here, which I think is pretty darn cool. A new locally produced radio program and podcast focusing on various social and women's issues affecting the community is making its debut this fall in Jamestown. Okay, WCA Jamestown is collaborating with WRFA LP 107.9 FM to present the YWCA Jamestown broadcast radio show. The program will broadcast twice a week on the station in Jamestown, and all episodes will also be available on demand online. Pretty cool. YWCA Jamestown's broadcast will feature members of the local YWCA Jamestown team. I'll try my best to pronounce everybody's name correctly. Hillary Balin, Indo Kionis, Elise Scott, and Sienna Simon, discussing a variety of issues and topics with various guests from the Jamestown and Chautauqua region. The program will cover a wide range of topics, including diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, issues, racial justice and civil rights, empowerment and economic advancement of women and girls, health and safety of women and girls, and so on. The first season of the broadcast started on September 30th, just recently, and they're going to run for 30 episodes at this point. Good on all of you, gosh. YWCA Jamestown has been the forefront of addressing several important issues facing Jamestown and Chautauqua County. We wanted to educate our listeners about these issues, but due to limited staffing at the radio station, we've been unable to give them the focus and attention they deserve, explained Jason Sample, station manager at WRFA. That's why we reached out to YWCA at Jamestown to see if they could assist us in the effort, and we are grateful they are willing to work with us on this exciting new project. This partnership provides the YWCA Jamestown with an additional opportunity to meet our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. Each week they will work, this is them talking, they will work to bring subjects and topics that address racial and gender inequality and highlighted issues that women in our community care about, said Amanda Giesing, the YWCA Jamestown Executive Director adding, "We are looking forward to hearing more about the passion of our mission and concern for community issues that the YWCA broadcast team will bring to the local airways." I think we should bring them on my show.
That sounds
I
very
think
cool.
that's a great idea. So Jason Sample, I'm going to be contacting you about that. The YWCA Jamestown broadcast team includes, all right, I already mentioned there's their pictures. All right. Funding for the program comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcast, the CPB, which provided WRFA with additional financial support from its American Rescue Plan Act Stabilization Fund in 2021. Okay, so there you have it. Well done, ladies. Definitely going to get you on the air here. Can't wait to talk with them about this. I think that's really cool. All right, moving along over to Westfield. We got the next slide here. Mr. Broadway. So Long, Mr. Broadway is a delightful comedy set in the 1930s, near the end of the vaudeville era, and an original show written by gentlemen I have actually played as an actor with in various performances that we've done. John Daly of Westfield. This play tells the story of Bobby Broadway and his troupe of vaudeville stars. The 6 characters in the show are slowly realizing there are some big changes in the future and wondering what that means for each of them. Bobby Broadway, played by the multi-talented, always inspirational, wait a minute, Rick Mascaro? How did they get Rick into this show? Finds himself coming to terms, Rick is my pal, finds himself coming to terms with the fact that his troupe isn't going to be together forever. Esther, who comes to life through the talents of the charming, droll, sometimes surprising, and always entertaining talents of Brenda Backus. Oh, they're bringing the old team together here. I've worked with Brenda, has had an outstanding career, now must figure out her next steps, personal and professional. Myrtle, the exceptional songstress, played by the true-life nightingale, Libby Sherino. Libby's my little partner in crime. I played with all these folks. This is fun. Might have the most to look forward to, but can she accept their good fortune if it might hurt people she loves? Darla Sweet, the newest talent on the vaudeville stage. Tommy Holliday, who's always looking for something new, and punny, and Variety Von Brown, the man who will try anything at least once, complete the talented troupe. Natalie Waddell Rudder's performance gives Darla an innocence, enthusiasm, and quirky sense of humor. Bill Carroll's theatrical skills enrich Tommy's role as the ultimate comic relief with a tender, endearing side. And the ever-popular Rick Matthews, who I've worked with also, is Variety Von Brown, willing to try anything and nearly always brilliantly successful. Tina Rauza, Kelly Matthews, Rick Mascaro, and Sue Polster round out the behind-the-scenes team with lighting, sound, publicity, the set, and artistic consulting talents without which no show is ever successful. All right, So Long, Mr. Broadway will be presented at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts at 7 p.m. on October 14, 15, 21, 22, and a matinee will be offered on October 23 at 2:30 p.m. Tickets are available online at lakeshorecenterforthearts.com, and you can work your way through that. So, boy, oh boy, best wishes, you guys, for a great run of the show. That's going to be a lot of fun. A very talented group of people. I've worked with all of them, except for one, I think. Otherwise, it should be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go on to slide 17. I'm just reading this one now, okay, guys? This is called Hunk for Jesus. Save your soul. Jeff was doing his great minister routine early before this show. A comedy starring Regina Hall as the Trinity Childs, the proud First Lady of Southern Baptist Megachurch, who together with her husband, Pastor Lee Curtis Childs, played by Sterling Brown, once served a congregation in the tens of thousands, but after a scandal forces their church to temporarily close, Trinity and Lee Curtis must reopen their church and rebuild their congregation to make the biggest comeback commodified. I never heard that word before. Commodified religion has ever seen. It's rated R, 102 minutes, and this is at the Reg Lene, right? You can buy tickets online. You give them a call at 484-7070. Remember, the box office opens Mondays and Fridays from 12 to 5, Wednesdays 12 to 8, and 1 hour before events. So, honk for Jesus, save your soul. All right, looks like a lot of fun. All right, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. This one's for you.
For many people, a breast cancer diagnosis can feel like a battle they're facing alone. But we are in this together because there are mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our friends. NBCF rallies and screening, supporting, and serving communities across the country because every woman matters. Every story is powerful. Every voice makes a difference.
Just beat breast cancer.
And every dollar helps. Together, we rise. Are you in?
Okay, with that just kind of goes right along with what I was talking about earlier. Do the right thing, folks. Don't wait, okay? And, I'm not here to recite statistics, but the statistics go up very much in your favor if you get on this early and that you get it diagnosed. And the treatments, they've got all kinds of treatments now. And the success rate is much higher than it used to be. And as I said, my mom, she had breast cancer and lived for many, 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 many years after that. And she adjusted and move on. Okay, so with that, we're going to now go to our guest who's been patiently laughing at me and waiting as I plow through the announcements every Saturday morning here. Oh, God. That wasn't too bad. Sometimes I have those long Italian or Russian or some actors' names in these movies.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, I want to welcome to the show and accepting the position for today's show for Dr. Marianne Spanos is a friend of mine, Dana Corwin. Good morning, Dana, and welcome back.
Good morning. How's everybody?
We're doing well. All right. So Dana, how did you get this job?
How did I get the job to fill in for Marianne?
Why are you here?
We've worked together for 15 years now, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to work with a friend and a strong advocate. So I always tell her, whatever you need, I got your back.
You got your back.
I got your back. I don't know if you know this, so I'll just toot Marianne's horn. She is the president of the National Association called U.S. Aging. And she just recently started her presidency, I'll say. Where did we go? Austin, Texas, in July. And she did a fabulous job, just a fabulous job opening the national convention. And she's just a pleasure to work with. So I don't mind standing in for her.
I might have to treat her with more respect the next time she's here.
Yes, I'm telling you.
National President.
National President of U.S. Aging.
Well,
and
yeah,
a great organization.
Actually, I knew that. But
did you?
But I didn't realize it was that big of a deal.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a big deal. I told her, I said, I'm not your mama, but I'm so proud of you.
No, I think I had seen a press release. I think we mentioned it that she had just been appointed last time I saw her.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she opened a national convention.
She did, and a beautiful job. And I was there, and George was there, and we were able to. Of course, I just said, if you need something, you just send me a text, and I'll just be floating in the background. Nice. So that's my job. I float in the background.
I've done that job.
But I don't mind stepping in and helping when need be.
All right. Well, so Marianne and you are with the Office for Aging Services.
Yes, thank you.
I got the S's on the S now, because I know that was something that was required at some level that the name would be changed.
Yeah. And do you know why the name was changed?
Because you provide services, not people.
Somewhat. We wanted, well, before it was the Office for the Aging, and now we're Office for Aging Services. And we thought very hard with our advisory committee and with staff to say, what is the work in aging really, what have we done and where are we going to? So we didn't want aging has a negative connotation. I think yesterday was the National Day of Ageism, if my memory. Ageism, which is a bias against aging or aged people. So inherently, you know, we think old people, they can't fend for themselves, they can't do, they're not that, but that is totally wrong, totally wrong. Not since I just hit 55, so I'm technically eligible for AARP.
Congratulations, you'll be getting mailers on a regular basis now. Yeah.
But we went from Office for Aging, which is kind of limiting, right? You may only think to come to us if you consider yourself aging or old. Now we're Office for Aging Services. As we move forward, everyone needs services, everyone needs help, everyone needs to plan. So I don't know if that I said that exactly how she would say that, but that was the thought, to change rather than a limited name to a progressive name, one that's inclusive and one that is welcoming.
Well, when you say aging services, it puts you sort of on a continuum.
Exactly.
Rather than a spot.
Exactly.
Because, you know, just like you said, when, now that I look back how old I am, and I'm going like, you know, if I was a kid, I should be dead. You know? Oh, you're 70, you should be dead. Why are you still, you know, it's...
We're all still 22 in our heads, right?
I'm still 6. And, but they...
Funny.
But yeah, but with aging services, it's like a progression, and it's something that you don't need necessarily the minute you hit 65, Jeff. Or anybody in a 70s. It could be, you don't need them until your 80s or 90s or whatever, right?
Exactly, and many people do well without our help.
Yeah.
So not only do we provide services and programs and connection to information and assistance and all kinds of things that hopefully we'll be able to talk about today, but our mission has changed. We provide services, we provide programs, but we're also really looking to what's happening in the future for aging. What does Chautauqua County need? What is it going to look like in 20 years when I'm 75? You know, so things have changed, and we want to continue to wrap our hands around what the community needs for aging services. So,
when you're 75, I'll be 90. just to put that in perspective.
Well, I always tell the funny.
And we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll all be
50, and I'll, my cameraman will.
So, you know, just preparing. We're always trying to prepare for what's out there. Our long-term care council, which is tasked with kind of overseeing New York Connects, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center, we're starting to go back into strategic planning and starting to really look at what's happening in the community and what do people need, not only with special health needs, but aging and work and transportation. There's a lot of things to consider. I was taking notes while you were doing your announcements because there's so much to know, and there's so many opportunities to get involved in Chautauqua County, and I think that's why we still love it here. You know, when we moved here, people said, "Oh, wait 20 years. Wait 20 years when you've been in the cold and everything."
So where did you come from?
I came from Maryland. Short story, we came here on vacation. We had an RV when the kids were little, went camping, and I opened up the big book and I said, I've never been to the Great Lakes. Let's go to this place called Westfield. And that's how we came. And we fell in love with the area. We fell in love with the people, the weather, the grapes. We used to say the 3 W's, wine, wind, and water. And then somebody said 4, winter. But we love the seasons, and it's just such a beautiful time. But I noticed when you were talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month for October, and what a great little piece there. Some of my neighbors have their pink bulbs in, which immediately made me think of the month. So, but very cool, and I love your piece about COVID boosters. So just a plug out there for New York Connects, 716-753-4582. We did a lot of work with...
We got a banner. Look at that.
Hey, I even remembered it. So, you know, if you're struggling to find providers for the COVID vaccines, you know, a lot of us have been vaccinated, and it's always available. The Department of Health has a great website with an update, regular information, and they've also broken down all of the different pharmacies and what they're carrying. So definitely, I applaud you for saying get your boosters.
Thank you.
Which is really important. But New York Connects can help as well.
So, just for the record, your department is a part of Chautauqua County government, correct?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
So you serve the people of our community.
We do. We are a local government organization. And if you go to other states and look at the area agencies on aging, sometimes they're not for profit, sometimes they're part of the local government, and they're different in every state. So I worked in geriatric nursing for years in Maryland. Actually, I was a consultant. I worked in long-term care. I was a director. You know, I never knew about the Area Agency on Aging. It's almost like a subculture. Like if you never had a motorcycle and suddenly you buy a motorcycle,
Right,
you learn all the
it's a whole
things
new
about
world.
the motorcycles. So one of the things we talk about in our presentations, and if I go to a small group or a big group, I always put a big slide up that says plan. Please look at now. Plan. Not for when you fall and you have a problem, or you have a short-term illness and you need to be connected, or health insurance counseling. There's a myriad of information. But think about, look around in your environment. Who do you know? What are your connections? Do you need more? Do you need help? Do you need to think about, are you aging in place? AARP does a great piece on the livable community, what we need to be able to age appropriately in place. That could be a whole nother, a whole nother thing. So keeping to our task list that we have, one of the things I wanted to update you all on is I got this great book. I think you can see it, and I'm looking in the monitor there.
Here we go.
So this is the 2022 Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures piece, and it is a book. So I wanted to give you an update because we had the walk last weekend. I can't believe it was just last Saturday, but it was. And as of yesterday, when I looked on the website, we had 341 participants with 48 teams, and we had already raised $33,613. So for those of you who were there in person, in spirit, we thank you. We can't thank enough to the volunteers. Like a shout out to the Midnight Growlers. And also the JCC students from the Occupational Therapy Department and others that just gave of their time that day. We had Bubbles the Clown. We just had a great time. It was a beautiful day.
It was a nice day.
It was a gorgeous day. And I think everybody that I saw had a smile on their face. So I just want to thank you because I was the chairperson for that walk. It's very important. It pours into all kinds of services that people may not know about. And we try to do a very good job getting the information out. But when you think about Alzheimer's and dementia, and I kind of earmarked a page here, so forgive me while I turn, you know, you're talking about 1 in 9 people over 65 with Alzheimer's or dementia. So it is an issue, and it keeps growing. So we need to wrap our hands around it and be prepared. And that's what we're trying to do. We work very closely with the Western New York Alzheimer's Association. They're fantastic. It doesn't help that my daughter works for them.
I was just going to say.
I knew you were going to
We had
Claire
and Courtney here.
Yep, yep, recently. So we have 2 symposiums coming up. I want to say Monday and Tuesday, and I didn't bring a flyer for that. It didn't occur to me now until I just started talking about it. One in Jamestown and one in Dunkirk. I think Monday is in Dunkirk, and the other one is in Jamestown. If you need help or information about possibly attending, you could call New York Connects, but I think the one Monday.
What's the symposium about?
It's about Alzheimer's disease and caregiving.
Okay. Sounds like a general discussion?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to bring the information about that, but if you decide, hey, Dana said something about this, you can call New York Connects, thank you, and they can give you the information.
All right, and the number
but
again
it's
is
an in-person.
716-753-4582.
Yeah, thank you for that. So walk was a success. We're looking forward to it next year in 2023. If anybody is out there, attended, or has a passion for this cause, there's so many causes to pour your heart and soul into, but if this is one of them, reach out to me. We're going to be developing the planning team for next year, and my motto is bigger and better. So we'll see about that one.
Okay, going back to your office, and we say you serve folks that are aging. So, like, what's the earliest that you would work with someone?
So it kind of depends what the program is. So there's lots of different things, and different things that we've served in the past that we've moved out to other agencies or community-based organizations. New York Connects, Aging and Disability Resource Center. Saw that number up there. That can serve anybody from birth till I say, you don't need us anymore, okay? And that could be for so many different reasons. You need child care counsel information. You need early intervention. You're in school and you're having difficulties and you need to be connected to services. School system does a great job of doing that, but occasionally we get a call or two in those younger age demographics. When you're talking about 20 up to about 55, those are usually people calling with concerns about a loved one,
Right.
or a neighbor.
They're doing some help, they're supporting somebody.
Right, exactly.
Caregivers.
So we can give information about all of the services, about transportation, all kinds of good things. The bulk of what I look at as far as the data crunching is people are calling for themselves because they're thinking about aging in their home and they know they need services, or they've had an illness or an accident and they need assistance in those areas. So most of our people are over 60, and for most of the programs at the Office for the Aging, over 60 is your kind of age gap there.
You know, I've sent people to your offices, and the response has been outstanding.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I mean,
That's good
your
to
folks
hear.
are compassionate. They're easy to talk with. They steer these individuals, whether it's an insurance or a service or Alzheimer's counseling or whatever. You're there for them. You know? And, you know, most people don't realize most of these services are free of charge, right? And you're here to serve the community.
Right,
That's
right.
why you're here. And this is one of those issues that I think, in my mind, in Chautauqua County especially, because we're an aging county. I think we're getting lopsided where there's probably more aging people over a certain age than there is younger people.
Not quite.
Not quite
Not
there
quite,
yet,
but
it's starting to tip, I think.
But it certainly could be heading that way.
And,
I mean, we do have a large aging population.
Yeah, well, yeah, I probably overstated that. But where I'm going with this is that we're an aging community, and that there are services that people should be participating in or finding out more about to make their lives a whole lot easier. You know, I'll run into people and they'll say, you know, oh, I need this or this or this, and I don't know. Did you contact the Office for the Aging? Well, no. How do I do that? Here's the number. You know, do you watch my show? Do you listen to?
Watch the show?
Know, I mean, it's like, come on. You know, we talk about these things all the time, and you know, and I'll run a parallel to this. It's the veterans group when I have Greg on here. We talk about veterans not participating in services that are available. Why people don't do it, I don't know. But
I know.
Whether it's admitting the fact that they're aging, or they need services, or they feel that it's a weakness or whatever, it's like, come on, people. Rather than, you know, keep like, you know, these buttons that you get, and I know we're going to talk about a little bit. You know, those buttons are emergency buttons. You know. There's no stigma. People use them all the time. We call them cell phones. People walk around with these things stuck in their head, you know, these little earpieces. So, I mean, it's a communication device. So, you know, get over it. And, you know, give everybody a sense of that you're safe, you know, or whatever. So
Exactly. There's so much information out there. I mean, I could just go through reams of it. This one, I think, is really, really good and available online. We just got this copy in. This is the AARP Home Fit Guide. So as you're thinking about what you may need to age in place, most people want to stay in their homes.
Yes.
So this little guide put out by AARP is really great to say, let me look at my current environment. What could I improve on? You know, I'll rat on my husband a little bit. He had both his knees replaced a few years ago at the tender age of 48, I think it was. So really bad arthritis. And at some point he's going to need his knees redone, you know, because they don't last forever. You know, it's 10 to 15 years on a joint. So one of the things we talked about is, how are we going to age in place in our current house? You know, because when we bought it, we had 3 kids there. My mom lived with me. Now I just feel like we should close the hatch on the second floor and just live on the bottom. But there's lots of information out there, and that's my point.
Are these available in your office?
You can call and we can give you the website. Every month, Marianne, the director, does an article about a topic that we feel is important to the older adult communication and their caregivers, and sometimes just the general community. And then New York Connects also has a monthly article. So I did one this year on Home Fit. It usually gives all the web addresses. One of the things I always do is check the web addresses, because sometimes they can be, you know, don't work, or phones. But yeah, if somebody calls, this is something we can lead them to. A lot of people are connected to email now, so we can email them the link so that they can pull it up. There's just so much information about how to live well in your own home.
Now, let me jump in, and it's funny you said that a lot of people are connected to email. A lot of the caregivers are, but some folks that are 80s and 90s, they don't go there.
I know.
And my wife and I will sit and we'll watch TV, and or we'll hear a service that's available, and they say, just contact this, or, you know, the QR code or whatever. I'm going like, I know people that they don't even know what we're talking about here. So I think it's important that caregivers listen to what we're talking about today.
Absolutely.
And share this information, because maybe in a few more years the seniors will be really savvy to more of the technology, but there's a bulk that just don't know how to access these services. So, you know, that's why the caregivers meetings and support groups are so important.
Absolutely.
They can find this information out on their behalf, because we do that for family members as well. You brought some props here today, so let's talk about some of them. What do you got?
So this is a bit of technology that I got put together here. This is it's a tablet for older adults, and it's produced by a company, I think you can see it. It says IN2L. Any idea what that stands for?
IN2L.
It's never too late
to learn.
Yeah, it's never too late to learn, exactly. So there you go. So this is one of the things we're doing with technology to help older adults. We're piloting this in our home care program. So we got about 20-some tablets rather, and our case managers are taking these tablets out to older adults that are interested at first, and hooking this up with them and getting them connected. You can see that there's all kinds of preloaded materials on here.
For like what? I mean,
oh my goodness.
So people are listening on the radio right now.
Let me see if I can turn it so I can see it.
Yeah.
So it'll spotlight a topic of the day. You can watch TV and movies. You can listen to music and podcasts. It has information about different travel destinations. You can play games. You can do relaxing. It has some, I'll see if I can cue this up. This is one of my favorites. I won't do the bubble popper, but the screen populates with all these bubbles and you just pop them.
Well,
it's addicting. That's all I can tell you. It's addicting.
Hey, bird, pop, 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 pop.
So it's been a little slow to load up, but we'll see if we can load something up here. So this is a relaxing video. So, you know, like with different things on Facebook, you can say, watch this video for 10 seconds, and it's the rain falling on the concrete. And it's designed to help you kind of center and look at something that's pleasing to the eye and to the ear and just relax.
Pulls your stress way down, right?
Exactly,
yeah, cool.
Exactly. So there's all kinds of things. There's great games. And what we're doing is trying to connect people with these, help them understand how to use it. So what we've done this first month that we've deployed them is we've taken them out into the homes, had them turn them on, connected to Wi-Fi, which the fellows here helped me do, loaded people, name and number that are important to them, and we've tested a video call. So we can now have the senior video call with someone who has the same ability on a smartphone, their friend, their neighbor. So we're starting to kind of help them get used to this. One of our big goals is going to help them to connect to their physician's portals so that they can then send information. Hey doc, I'm not feeling so good. My blood pressure was too high. You know how, well, we all know this, no matter what age we are, how frustrating it is to call the doctor's office, who are very busy.
Push number one.
And we get this, push number one, push number two.
If you want to talk to the physician.
Yep, and it's a process, and we know we have to have that process, but I can't speak enough about the physician portals. I use mine all the time,
You know,
and it's wonderful.
Going back to the video chatting, I think that's what you said, right? I remember about 6, 7 years ago, my dad and I, we Skyped my cousins in the Netherlands, who actually just visited here not long ago. And my dad, it was his eyes just got, wow, and he was like 93 at the time, and just thought that was the best thing in the whole world.
And it is.
It's like George Jetson, right? It's like
exactly.
the Jetsons. How is this possible? How can I be watching and talking to these people, halfway around the world?
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
And
it's just way cool.
This was really born out of the pandemic. When we couldn't go into, normally we would go into older adults' homes that we're providing services with in case managing, and we couldn't because we didn't want them to be exposed, and we didn't want to make them ill. So now with this adaptability to do a video call, the case managers can set up a time and a date and help the older adult in their case management services, give them a call. And not only will they see Dana's face, but they'll see what's going on around Dana. You know, so it's almost as good as seeing somebody in their home. So we're really excited. I'm really excited about
All right,
this.
so you said you have 20 of these. We have more than 20 senior
Yes.
citizens in the area. So
Yes.
if they want one, how's that work?
Eventually, we're making plans to see if they're useful and wanted, and then we'll hope to continue, you know, rolling out to others. But right now, it's just a small pilot program with our seniors, with our older adults in the home care program.
The saddest thing in the whole world is to walk into somebody's house and there's a tablet that has dust all over it.
Yes, I know. I know exactly what you're saying. But
So you want people that are motivated, that
Yes.
are willing to learn.
Exactly. And connectivity is a problem too. Somewhere in my pile here, I wanted to make sure I busted you guys on this one. Oh, it's not right here. I'll find it in a minute. My thumbs aren't working anymore. The connectivity program with the federal government is out, and you can, here it is, the Affordable Connectivity Program. And this is on our Facebook. It'll be hard to see with the camera. But you can apply for assistance through this program to get help to pay for your Wi-Fi at home. You mentioned the libraries, and the libraries are, exactly as you said, a great community center.
And they have computers.
And they have computers. But this gives you some funds to pay
All
for
right,
your
so
Wi-Fi.
there's a phone number. Let's give it out. It's
877-384-2575.
Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Yeah.
That looks better than wearing my glasses.
You saw where I went
That's
to the
amazing.
monitor. I didn't look at
That's amazing. So, you know, this is another way to get seniors connected, and it's an important thing. So,
All right, you mentioned that the pandemic spawned these tablets and the idea for it, and I see you have a little box up there that has something to do with COVID. So let's talk about that.
This is just a COVID box of tests. We have these at the Office for the Aging, and we're offering them, we've offered them to the public, to churches, to organizations, senior groups, adult day centers, home care agencies. So these are available if you have a need for tests. You still can get them through your insurance. Insurance is covering them, but we are in a pilot program with ACL, the Community Living Organization at the federal government, to have these. So we've been calling all of the senior housing and all of the senior groups to let them know that we have these available. And you mentioned flu, you mentioned COVID's going to be around, so it's good to, you know, have some tests on hand if you need them.
Now hold on, because you know I have an inquiring mind on this. So, so my understanding is the freebies are gone at the federal government. You could get so many over a period of time, and we have some at home for that.
Right.
All right. So either you get them in through your insurance or you get them from you guys. Now let's talk about this test, because some people are saying, I'm not putting that big long thing up my nose, and I'm not going to stick myself with a needle. So let's talk about
there's
this.
no needle involved in testing.
There's no need.
But there is a picture on the back of the swab going right up the nose.
All right,
So-
but it's just on the inside of
Yeah,
your nose.
yeah. Let me put on my glasses so I can
All
read
right.
you the exact
Just-
directions.
I think this is important, because people should
we'd have
not be
to-
afraid of this test.
Yeah, no, we'd have to open it up to see exactly, but it shows, you know, it's going in. If I had to, oh, that's going to look terrible, but, you know.
All you have to do, it's like putting a Q-tip in your nose.
Exactly.
You swab it around,
Exactly.
and then you put it into this little
vial that's in here. And then you apply the solution to a test strip, and the test strip gives you a plus or a minus, or a color. So all the tests are different. This is the one I just happen to be able to grab from the office, but they're good to have. They're usually very easy.
15 minutes, you're done, right?
You get a result.
I know it's going to sound weird, but it reminds me of the old pregnancy test.
Well, and
different
the colors.
different process. But when you put the solution on the
Exactly.
on
You're
the
looking
test, you're waiting to see if it shows up whatever is on there.
Pink or blue or
Pink or-
two
yeah,
stripes.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, they're all a little different.
But they're easy to use.
They are easy
and
to
And I
use.
think for someone that's maybe doesn't have support group, or they're just fretting, do I have COVID or don't I have a COVID? Because my nose is running, I got a headache.
Right.
Well, it could be allergies.
It could be anything
So
right
with
now.
the test, you can have a little sense of relief and peace
Little
of
peace of mind.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's really
But
good to know.
I've done the test, you know, at one point. Actually, I think I did just to do it, and it's real simple to do. It's no big deal, and
And it
it's
wasn't
not those
difficult.
big long swabs that they first were doing.
Yeah, when you see them in the chair with
I know.
the
It's
chin
like
all the way
that's
back
going up
up.
into my eyeball. It's like no, Oh, I think Jeff said it goes like 3/4 of an inch into your nose or
Yep,
something like that.
yep. And that was probably a terrible visual, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got some, there's something called All the Lonely People movie. I don't know what that's
Yes.
about. That was sent to me.
Let me find that, because this is something that's been in the works for a few weeks, I guess, well, actually a few months, and it was brought out at the Aging Concerns Unite Us, which is our state conference here in New York. So All the Lonely People is a full-length feature film that
Written
we
by
are
the
going to be
Beatles
showing.
called Eleanor Rigby. All the Lonely People.
And I can't remember if there's music in or not, but it's a film and actually discussion that we've set up at the Robert H. Jackson Center, which is at 305 East 4th Street in Jamestown on Friday, November 4th. Okay, this will be posted to our Facebook sites. It's at 3 o'clock with a question and answer afterwards, and it's really, really interesting rather. It's a social impact film examining the epidemic of loneliness. Now, we've heard a lot about this since the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic. It'll be facilitated with a Q&A with the film's producers and more than likely Marianne at the Office for the Aging. So offering a forum for community discussion about ways to develop resilience and implement strategies to combat social isolation. So we've heard tons and tons. There's press releases coming out about it, so you'll probably hear something about it, maybe see something in the papers. But they've got a little quote here that the health consequences of loneliness and isolation are equivalent to smoking almost a pack of cigarettes a day. The added stress of feeling alone increases heart disease and even earlier onset of dementia. So it can have a real impact on health, on quality of life, and the ability to thrive in a community. It's a problem that can affect anyone at any age in and out of the pandemic. So we're really happy to be able to show it. Goodness gracious, the film producers are Julianne Holt-Lundstedt, I hope I'm saying that right, Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience, Carla Parasimnoda.
This
Sorry,
is my
Carla.
world every
Yes.
Saturday morning.
I can
Thank you.
totally see.
I feel better already. Thank you for this.
Dr. Carla is a geriatrician and a social isolation and loneliness researcher. Michelle Lim, again, another PhD, scientific chair. So we've got some great research and development and producers here. I've seen little snippets of it, and it's really, really interesting. So it's an invitation to all the public to come and see All the Lonely People Friday, November 4th at the Robert H. Jackson Center at 3 o'clock.
Can you leave that with me so I can announce it?
Yeah, I can maybe send you. It came out grainy on my printer
yeah,
this morning.
Yeah, send it to
I'll
us.
send you a good copy. That's
Let
what we
me
usually
I have
say.
a remark on that. And I've mentioned this over time. The gentleman that you see early on in the credits, in the opening credits, there's a gentleman with like a military hat.
I remember
That's
the
my
picture.
dad.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was my 100th guest way back when.
How nice.
And when my mom passed, I had no idea how lonely he was. No idea. Not till he passed did I realize, because I found things that sort of kind of said, wow, he was valuing certain things in the house and stuff. But where I'm going with this was, growing up, my dad was my dad. He was supposed to be the enforcer, and wait till your father gets home.
Exactly.
But in his 90s, when I would go to visit him, and I did it almost every week for like 5 years, when we were all done and I was ready to go, he just squeezed the juice out of me. I mean, it was the physical contact he was missing.
Right.
And it was so profound to me that I share that, and I share that not with everybody. It was that when people are lonely, that physical contact is so important. And I
Handshake, a hug.
I think that we underestimate that contact. And as I said, he would just hug me, and I would return the hug. But I mean, that was just such even right now I'm getting shivers thinking about it, because it was just this invisible thing that was going on between two humans, So
And so important.
So important. We need that touch. We need that feel.
We do.
Contact. It's not even an emotional thing. It's a physical need that we have, that we thrive on. So, all right, we move on.
All right, so we've got All the Lonely People, November 4th. So that's interesting.
You got to go.
Medicare, open enrollment.
Oh,
we
my
got to talk
least
about
favorite
Medicare.
time of the year. I always know when it's because I get 15 things in the mail.
Yes, exactly. And lots of advertisements. So
I should collect
Medicare
those.
open enrollment is from October 15th. So what's today, the 8th?
Mm-hmm.
Next week it starts and runs through December 7th. And this is the time of year when you can make changes to your Medicare coverage. It's very important to review your Medicare coverage every year. And those services are available. We can connect you with providers all over the community, and there's a lot of people out helping people review their Medicare. I always think about it, and I'm not a Medicare insurance counselor, so I know Marianne says the same thing. We only know enough to be dangerous. But they look at what your medications are, what your co-pays are, what your deductibles are, where your doctors are, and they'll kind of condense all that information and show you if you're in the best plan for you. Right. You know, they'll say this one fits this way, or you can go this way, or you can go this way. But it's really important. And I think a lot of people get swayed on the TV commercials.
I never noticed any of those.
They're all over right now. But sometimes when you say there's a $0 copay, and
call
that sounds
number to
really,
find out
really
if
good.
you're eligible. Yeah.
Yeah. So you really need to talk out you.
Yeah.
With your insurance, and you need to look at it every year, and this is a great time to do that. So during open enrollment, you can make changes to your Medicare Advantage plan. Let me stop for a minute. I pulled this little piece out to remind me. So does anybody, and I'm sorry about the bad quality here, but there are different parts to Medicare. Mm-hmm. So you got Medicare A, you got Medicare B, you got Medicare C, and you got Medicare D. Whoops, there we go. Mm-hmm. And they're all important to Medicare. Medicare A is something there's no cost for Medicare. That covers your hospital coverage. Medicare B covers doctor services, outpatient care when medically necessary. There's these things called Medicare C, which are Medicare Advantage plans, which kind of roll A and B together. Right. And then there's D. Medicare D covers your prescription standalone plans or part of Medicare Advantage plans. So even just saying that off the tongue, I'm confused. So you need to have somebody look at it regularly. The other thing, and you mentioned Jeff's birthday, somewhere between one age and another age. One thing to remember too with insurance is when can I first enroll in Medicare? Mm-hmm. So we usually run throughout the year different information about turning 65. Because you've got a window, and again, I'm sorry for that, you've got a window 3 months before and 3 months after to sign up for Medicare, okay? And it is a little bit of a process, so just keep that in mind. A lot of people say, oh, I turned 65, I got to apply for Medicare. Well, guess what? If you waited till your 65th birthday, you got less than 3 months to get it done, and there is a process, okay? So we can walk you through that. We can give you information about that. We can give them information about the different types, the different plans. But basically, you need to know that it's open enrollment next week, and that's the time of year when you can join a new Medicare Advantage plan or Part D prescription drug plan. You can switch from original Medicare, which is A and B, to a C, which is a Medicare Advantage plan, or back. So, and it's important to look at what your needs are.
Okay,
you know,
let's hold there. We've got something that's been sitting on my table all this time. We've got like 2.5 minutes left.
Okay.
So let's talk about some of these little critters that people can have that they're kind of fun in their lives.
Yeah, so we have these animatronic pets, and we give them out. I can't remember if I turned them on since we've been here so long.
No, you turned them off.
So let's see if we can turn them on. These are great kind of therapy to give to people that are experiencing loneliness or isolation. So these animatronic pets will respond to voice and to touch.
Oh, he's purring.
He's purring. And we pulled this out last night with my daughter's little dog, and we had a blast with it. They're just great. I really like the cats, but there's also dogs, and I think we have a picture of the cats there in 3 different colors. And the cat will interact with you. There's the dogs. That's cool. I've only seen the one dog. And then new this year is something called a walker squawker. And what you're looking at is the walker squawker. These are highly sought after all over the United States. And these are little birds that magnetic clip onto a walker, and they sing. They don't talk to you. They sing, and they kind of react to your movement and learn a little bit about your ways. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello, friend.
It's rolling over.
So you can imagine that, you know, it feels like a regular cat, not like exactly a live cat, but the little paws have some feeling to them, and they're really cool. We use this with some of our clients that have dementia.
We've run out of time, so do you have these animals at your
at the Office for the Aging? Give us a call.
One more time, what's that number? Let's use it.
The general number is through New York Connect's hotline, 716-753-4582. We'd love to talk to you. Call us.
We're purring
and I've
away
enjoyed
here.
being here today and sharing so many different things with you.
Okay. Dana Corwin, thanks for coming in and especially filling in for Marianne. We hope you learned some things. I always do when you folks come in, and this little kitty's maybe he's going to stay here. I'm not sure. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the beautiful leaves out there and the colors that are here in Chautauqua County. We do it all again next Saturday right here at Access Chautauqua, 1301 on Spectrum at 9 a.m. Take care now. Bye-bye.